Right, in this video we'll look at creating a triptych project in order to display your time-lapse images. So with Photoshop open in front of you, just go to File and New to create a new document. And we're going to create a document 20 by 10 with the resolution of 300 pixels per inch. And the background colour will be white. Then just click on Create. So once we've got the basic document, we need to go into Preferences in order to set the guides, the grids and the slices. So if you're working on a newer version of Photoshop, go to the Photoshop menu and you'll see Preferences listed. Then just come down until you come to Guides, Grids and Slices. Your other alternative is to press Command K on a Mac, Control K on Windows. Within this dialog box we can set the preferences, so we're looking at a grid line every 1 inch with subdivisions of 2. So we've got that set. Colour will be black and we then click OK. In order to see the grid lines within our document, you can press a Command apostrophe on a Mac, Control apostrophe on Windows. We're then going to work with the rectangular Marquee tool. So I'm going to select that right there and draw in the first grid. So choose your selection point. You can, in the options bar, enter in the width that you wish to use for each rectangle. So width goes in right there, so that will be 5 inches. And then for the height we'll have 8 inches. And then come back to the basic document, click where you wish the rectangle to start and then drag across and down. And you can see the guidelines following you. Let go and that will be the first shape. The fill colour, you can choose black, and then just means that it's easy for you to see what you've completed. And then the rectangle will be shown as 5 inches by 8. Using Move tool, we can just drag down and place the next rectangle in the document. Hold down the Alt key or Option key, and then you can simply, with the Move tool selected, which is in the toolbox, just click and drag to drag out a further rectangle, and that will form the triptych. So you can see the images are correctly spaced within the Photoshop document. In the Layers panel we can see we've got 3 vector graphics created above the background layer. Next thing is to go to File and Open and navigate to the images that you wish to use. So I'll just use the provided files. So these files are DNG files, so all digital negatives. I'm just dragging out that to select all 3 on the Mac. Click Open. If you're using Windows, just Shift click to select consecutive files. In the film strip, we can see we've got 3 images present. To select them all, press Command A, Control A on Windows, and then whichever adjustments you apply within the raw interface will apply to all images. Once that's been done, you'll see that the open image has now turned to plural, open images, so that can be selected and the image files will open within the Photoshop interface. So to start with, I'm going to select the first one, Triptych 1, and using the Move tool, simply going to drag that image up into the document we've already created and down to position it within that document. So basically you want that layer to be just above the rectangle you previously created. and then we'll just hold down the Option key or the Alt key to apply a clipping mask, and that will clip it to the rectangular shape. Once that is in there, we still have Move tool selected. We can position that image within the picture space in order to achieve a stronger composition. Next, select Rectangle 2, go into the second image, select the Move tool, and then click and drag up into the document, drag down into the second rectangle. Hold down the Option key in order to create a clipping mask and clip. That image is now clipped within the second rectangle, and we can move it around again to achieve that stronger composition. Next thing is to click on Rectangle 2, so that means that the next image will come in above that rectangle. And then choose the image and Move tool again, click and drag down into the main image, and then hold down the Option key in order to clip that to the layer below. So now we've got all our images in place within the triptych, and the next thing to do is we can do any repositioning if you want to change the position of any of the images at this stage. Next thing we'll do is add a keyline border to the edges of each frame. So if I click on a new layer button, that'll come in at the very top of the layer stack, and I need to select the thumbnails, so I'm going to Command click on the first layer thumbnail, which we can see is now selected. In order to add to that selection, I'll have to press the Shift key, so Shift Command and click on Rectangle 2, Shift Command and click on the first rectangle. So all rectangles are now selected, and layer 4 is at the top of the stack. That is the active layer. Once we've done that, we can add our keyline border by going to the Edit menu and choosing Stroke. I'll choose 10 pixels for the width, and the colour will be black. I then click OK, and then I can deselect, and I can now see that I've got the keyline border in place. So to remove the grid line, all I do is press Command and apostrophe, Control and apostrophe on a Windows machine. If you wish to colour the background, simply click to select the background layer, go to the Edit menu and choose Fill. You can then within Fill choose Colour, and then just drag up and down the spectrum to choose the colour you would like for your background. Click OK, and make sure Preserve Transparency is not ticked, otherwise this will not work. Click on OK, and there the background has now been filled. So all you have to do at that stage is just choose Layer, Flatten Image. That image can now be saved as a JPEG and uploaded to Moodle. Thank you for watching the video.